Welcome to the Subconscious. We're so grateful for our 16 amazing subscribers and excited to bring you content that makes you happy and helps you sleep peacefully. Tell us where you're watching from and what you'd love to see next. Now, close your eyes. Let your body sink deeper into the warmth of your blankets. Tonight, we drift far, far away. Beyond the Earth, beyond the Moon, beyond even the edges of our solar system. We travel back in time, billions of years, to a place where stars are born, where cosmic clouds swirl in the darkness, and where something small, so incredibly small, will begin a journey that never truly ends. This is the story of a single water molecule. And, like all things in the universe, it begins in the stars. Deep in the arms of the Milky Way, there is a cloud so vast it stretches for trillions of miles. It is not empty. No, this cloud is alive with possibility. It is a nebula, a cosmic nursery of dust and gas, the birthplace of future stars. If you could float there now, you would see something extraordinary. The darkness is not truly dark. It glows faintly with the soft, ghostly blues of scattered starlight, with tendrils of pink and gold where young suns are beginning to shine. And drifting within this enormous swirling mist are the raw ingredients of everything: hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen. The very same elements that will one day make planets, oceans, and even life itself. And somewhere in this cosmic dust, something tiny is about to happen. Hydrogen, the simplest, most abundant element in the universe, has been here since the dawn of time. It was born in the first few minutes after the Big Bang, spreading like an invisible mist across the cosmos. But oxygen? Oxygen is different. It had to be forged inside the heart of a dying star. When that ancient star exploded in a brilliant supernova, its oxygen atoms were flung out into space, scattering across the nebula like glittering dust. For eons, these atoms drifted separately. But now, something stirs. A nearby star is forming, and as it does, its newborn heat ripples through the nebula. The dust and gas swirl, collide, and mix in new ways. Here, two hydrogen atoms find themselves near a lonely oxygen atom. They are drawn together, pulled by invisible forces, moving faster, vibrating with energy. And then, snap. A bond forms. The three atoms are no longer separate. They have become something new. A single, tiny molecule of H2O, water. At first, it is just one, but then another forms and another. Soon, there are countless water molecules, clinging to the dust grains floating through space. And though they are small, so small you could fit trillions of them on the tip of your finger, they carry within them something incredible. A future. A purpose. For now, though, they wait. The nebula is cold, colder than any winter night on Earth. Here, where the light of distant stars barely reaches, water cannot flow as it does in rivers or oceans. Instead, it clings to dust particles, frozen solid in delicate crystals, waiting for something to set it free. For millions of years, these tiny icy specks drift through space. They swirl gently around the newborn star at the heart of the nebula, pulled by gravity but never falling too close. Some of them will be lost forever, hurled into the void, but others will become part of something greater. Far ahead, something massive is forming. A young planet, rocky and rough, still glowing with heat from its violent birth. A world that is dry and barren, for now. But that will change. For millions of years, our tiny water molecule has been frozen inside an asteroid. a silent traveler carried through the vastness of space. It has never known light or warmth. It has never seen the glow of a sunrise or felt the pull of gravity. It simply drifts, weightless and cold, locked inside a chunk of rock as ancient as the stars. But space is never truly still. Something has changed. A force, unseen but powerful, has reached out and tugged at the asteroid's path. It is the gravity of a planet, a small blue planet spinning in the distance, calling the rock toward it. Earth. The asteroid obeys. Slowly at first, then faster, it begins to fall. The sky of young Earth is nothing like the sky we know today. It is thick with clouds of volcanic smoke, swirling in dark spirals. The land below is a landscape of fire and stone, restless and raw, still shaping itself into continents and oceans. And through this sky, like a silent messenger from the stars, the asteroid streaks downward. At first, there is no sound, only motion, only speed. Then, fire. The air ignites around the falling rock, turning it into a blazing torch as it hurtles toward the ground. The ice that has held our water molecule captive for so long begins to melt, the edges turning to vapor, the solid giving way to liquid. For the first time in its existence, our molecule feels warmth. It is free, but the journey is not over. With a deafening roar, the asteroid crashes into the surface. A shock wave rolls across the land. Fragments of rock explode outward. The ground trembles. For a moment, everything is chaos. And then, as the dust settles, a miracle begins. Where the asteroid struck, the land is scarred, cracked open like shattered glass. And in these deep wounds of the earth, something extraordinary is happening. Water is gathering. Not just from this one impact, but from thousands, millions of asteroids just like it. Each one carrying ice, each one releasing drops of water as they burn through the atmosphere. For the first time, liquid water exists on Earth. The surface is still too hot for great oceans to form. For now, the water is a thin mist, rising in waves of steam, swirling in the thick atmosphere. But as time passes, as thousands of years slip by in the blink of a cosmic eye, something changes. The Earth is cooling. The heat of its birth is fading. And as it cools, the vapor in the sky begins to gather. The first clouds appear, heavy with moisture. And then the rain begins. It is unlike anything the world has ever seen. The sky turns dark, heavy with the weight of unfallen water. Thunder rumbles across the empty land. Lightning cracks like a whip, illuminating the sky for a brief, brilliant moment. And then, the first drop falls. Then another, and another. Until, at last, the heavens open, and the rain comes down in endless sheets, drumming against the newborn land, filling the cracks, carving rivers where there were none before. Our water molecule is among them. It falls, tumbling through the sky, carried by the storm until at last it lands. The ground here is rough, made of dark volcanic stone, still warm from the fires of creation. But the rain does not stop. It keeps falling, washing over the land, finding the lowest places, collecting in small pools. And slowly, as the days and weeks pass, the pools grow. The rain keeps falling. The waters rise. And then the pools become lakes. The lakes become rivers. And the rivers begin to run toward the lowest places of all, carving great channels through the land. This is how the oceans begin. Our water molecule is no longer alone. The planet is changing. The once barren surface is now marked by swirling blue. The first great oceans have taken shape, stretching wide, shimmering under the faint red-tinted sky. It is still an alien world. There are no plants, no fish, no birds, no forests, only water and stone, sky and fire. But something is beginning here. A great cycle, a rhythm that will shape the planet for the rest of time. Water will rise as vapor, form clouds, and fall again as rain. It will carve valleys and wear down mountains. It will become the cradle of life itself. And our single molecule, the one that was born in the cold darkness of space, is now part of something far greater. For now, it floats, drifting with the tides, carried by the movement of the young sea. But its journey is not over. Not even close. Billions of years from now, this same molecule will still exist. It will flow through rivers. It will freeze into glaciers. It will rise into clouds and return again as rain. One day, it may be swallowed by a tiny sea creature, then passed from one being to another, traveling through time, becoming part of everything, plants, animals, even people. Maybe, just maybe, it will one day return to the stars. But for now, it drifts, weightless in the deep blue. The ocean has only just begun. And, as you drift into sleep, your own breath slow and steady like the movement of the waves, you, too, become part of the great rhythm of water. Endless, timeless, flowing forever. The ocean is young, but it is already alive with motion. Even though there is no life, no fish, no plants, no coral reefs, there is movement, there is energy, there is rhythm. The tides are the first to arrive, gentle at first, then stronger as the moon above pulls on the sea. Yes, the moon. It is much closer to Earth than it is today, looming large in the sky, its pull so strong that the tides are unlike anything we know now. Water rises and falls in great, sweeping waves, surging against the rocky shores, reshaping the coastlines of this new world. Our molecule rises with the tide, then sinks again, caught in an endless, hypnotic dance. It is carried forward, drawn by the moon's gravity, swirling in the currents that will one day become rivers beneath the sea. But something else is happening here. Something deeper. Something that will change the planet forever. The ocean is restless. Beneath its surface, something stirs. The planet is still young, its core burning with heat left over from its violent birth. And that heat is rising, pushing through cracks in the ocean floor, sending up great plumes of mineral-rich water. These are hydrothermal vents, deep-sea chimneys where scalding water, black with minerals, surges up from the Earth's crust. Our tiny molecule is caught in the current, sinking downward, pulled toward the dark places where the ocean floor is still forming. Here, it moves through columns of warm water, where chemicals swirl in strange and mysterious ways. This is a place of beginnings. Though no one knows exactly how it happened, many believe that life itself may have started in places just like this, where water, heat, and minerals came together in just the right way, at just the right time. Maybe, at this very moment, something stirs in the deep, something impossibly small, something alive. Maybe our tiny molecule is there to witness the birth of the first cell, the first flicker of life in an ocean that one day will be filled with creatures beyond imagination. But for now, it drifts, carried by the currents, drawn into the swirling dance of the sea. The ocean is not still. It moves with the wind, with the pull of the moon, with the shifting heat of the planet itself. And our molecule moves with it, carried across the world in great looping currents. These currents will one day be named Gulf Stream, Kuroshio, Antarctic Circumpolar. But for now, they are nameless rivers in the deep. They flow for thousands of miles, pulling warm water toward the poles, sending cold water back to the tropics. They shape the planet, control the climate, and keep the world alive. Our molecule rides these currents, swept across the young Earth, passing over underwater mountains and through deep ocean trenches. It rises to the surface, where sunlight touches the waves for the first time, turning the water golden with the glow of a new day. And it sinks again, slipping into the quiet, shadowy world beneath the waves. It will do this for millions of years. It will be part of storms, part of calm, part of waves that crash against towering cliffs. And always, always it will move. Close your eyes. Listen. The ocean sings, not with words, not with a voice, but with movement, with the crash of waves, with the hush of the deep, with the whisper of currents moving through the endless blue. And our molecule is part of that song. It is carried in the spray of sea foam as the waves break against the shore. It is pulled downward into the dark stillness of the abyss. It is lifted high in a cresting wave, only to tumble down again, lost in the endless rhythm of water. It is in constant motion, but it is never alone. Because here, in the ocean, every drop of water is connected. Every wave, every ripple, every tide. Even now, as you listen, as you breathe, as you drift into sleep, the ocean moves. And somewhere, in that great, endless expanse, our molecule is still traveling, still waiting for the next step in its journey. For millions of years, our tiny water molecule has been part of the ocean, swirling in currents, rising and falling with the tides, flowing in the great, silent rivers of the sea. But now, something is different. The sun has reached down with invisible hands, touching the surface of the water, giving it energy, giving it motion. And that energy is enough. For the first time, the molecule is free from the ocean's grasp. It slips away, transforming, no longer liquid, but something lighter, something unseen. It becomes vapor, a ghost of what it once was, an invisible traveler lifted toward the heavens. This is evaporation. It is not alone. Millions, billions of molecules rise at the same time, leaving the ocean behind, drawn upward by warmth, by wind, by the silent pull of the sky. Higher and higher they climb, drifting together in unseen currents, lifted toward the waiting clouds. If a water molecule could see, what would it witness in this moment? It would look down and see the ocean, endless and shining, its surface rippling with the movement of the wind. It would see islands and continents, rivers and lakes, green forests and golden deserts. It would see life, birds soaring over the waves, schools of fish darting through the shallows, great whales moving through the depths. And above is the vast open sky, stretching into the distance, shifting from blue to violet to the inky black of space. But there is no time to linger. The molecule is still rising, still climbing, carried higher by the currents of air. It has joined the atmosphere now, where wind and weather are born, where storms gather their strength, where the great rivers of air move across the planet. And as it drifts, it begins to cool. Clouds are not made of smoke or mist or magic. They are made of tiny water droplets, millions, trillions of them, floating together, held up by the wind, waiting for the moment they will fall again. Our molecule is among them now. The higher it rises, the colder the air becomes. The energy that set it free is fading. It slows, drifts, cools. Then, at last, it happens. The molecule touches something, a tiny speck of dust floating unseen in the air. It clings to it, held in place, and in that instant, it changes again. From vapor, it becomes liquid once more, a single tiny droplet of water. And it is not alone. All around, more molecules are doing the same, gathering, clinging together, forming the first wisps of white against the blue sky. A cloud is being born. Clouds are cities in the sky, made not of stone or metal but of water, drifting, shifting, changing shape with every passing moment. Some are small and wispy, no bigger than a breath. Others stretch for miles, great towering castles of vapor, rising like mountains into the heavens. And inside them, hidden in their soft embrace, are the same molecules that once swam in oceans, that once fell as rain, that once formed the very first drops of water on earth. They have been here before. They will be here again. For now, they wait. The wind carries them across the world, over mountains and valleys, over cities and forests, over places where no human has ever set foot. But nothing stays in the sky forever. The air grows colder. The droplets grow heavier. And soon, the clouds will release their treasure. A shift, a whisper of wind, a change in pressure. The cloud, once soft and wispy, begins to thicken. The air grows heavy, charged with unseen energy. The molecules inside feel it, the shift, the pull, the growing force of gravity calling them back to the earth below. Wind rushes through the sky, swirling around them, pushing the cloud forward, guiding it toward its next destination. Far below, the land stretches in endless patterns, mountains and valleys, rivers and forests, deserts and seas. Some places thirst for rain, their soil cracked and dry, waiting for relief. Others are already soaked, their rivers full, their leaves heavy with moisture. And somewhere, beneath this very cloud, a single leaf waits, unaware that it will soon catch the tiny droplet that carries our water molecule. But first, the sky must let go. A shift, a whisper of wind, a drop, heavier than the others, begins to fall. Then another, and another, until at last the cloud releases its treasure. The first raindrop tumbles through the sky, followed by millions more, rushing downward, faster and faster, pulled by gravity, shaped by the wind. And our molecule, our tiny traveler, falls with them. For the first time since it rose into the heavens, It is moving again, tumbling, spinning, caught in the rush of the storm. It passes through layers of cool air, through mist and wind, past birds gliding on unseen currents, past invisible gusts that push and pull at the falling rain. Some raindrops will land in rivers, in lakes, in vast rolling oceans. Others will be caught in the soft embrace of soil, sinking deep into the earth's hidden reservoirs. But this one, this single drop, has a different path. It is headed for a leaf. The drop falls faster now, the world rushing up to meet it. And then, a touch. A single leaf, outstretched toward the sky, catches the droplet with the softest whisper of sound. For a moment, it rests there, clinging to the green surface, its shape bending, stretching, forming a perfect bead of water. Sunlight filters through the trees, turning the drop into a tiny, glistening world of reflections. If you could look closely, you would see the sky mirrored inside it, the shape of the clouds still lingering within its curved surface. It is small, so small, and yet it holds within it the memory of the stars, of space, of the ocean's deep currents and the endless movement of time. It is part of something infinite, and yet its journey is not over. Slowly, the droplet slides down the leaf, tracing its delicate veins, following the path carved by nature's design. At last, it reaches the very tip, and then it falls again. But this time, it does not return to the sky. This time, it meets the earth. The soil is dry, cracked from days without rain, thirsty for moisture. As the droplet touches the ground, the earth welcomes it, pulling it downward, deeper, deeper still. The molecule slips between grains of sand, between tiny tunnels carved by roots and burrowing insects, moving through the hidden pathways of the world below. It joins others, thousands, millions of molecules, all flowing together beneath the surface. Here, underground, the water moves differently. It does not rush like a river or rise like a tide. It seeps, slow and steady, drawn downward by gravity, sinking into the heart of the earth. Some of it will stay there for years, locked in underground reservoirs, hidden away in the quiet darkness. Some will be drawn upward by roots, carried into trees, lifted into leaves, released once more into the air. And some, like our molecule, will keep traveling, searching, waiting, flowing toward its next great destination. Water does not rest. It moves in cycles, in rhythms as old as the world itself. It rises as vapor, floats as clouds, falls as rain, flows through rivers and roots and veins. It carves canyons and shapes mountains. It nourishes life, filling the cells of every plant, every creature, every beating heart. It is never lost, never still, never truly gone. And somewhere, in the great, endless dance of water, our molecule continues its journey. Maybe it will travel to the depths of an underground cave, joining an ancient aquifer that has not seen sunlight for centuries. Maybe it will be drawn into the roots of a towering tree, lifted through its branches, released into the sky once more. Maybe it will be swallowed by a small, thirsty animal, carried through its body, then released back into the earth. Or maybe, just maybe, one day it will find its way to the ocean again, where the waves wait to welcome it home. And as you breathe, slow and steady as you drift into sleep, you, too, are part of this great cycle. The water in your body once traveled through rivers, through clouds, through the veins of ancient forests. It has seen the stars. It has touched the sky. It will keep moving, flowing, dancing through time. And so will you. Close your eyes. Feel the rhythm of your breath, slow and steady, like waves rolling onto a quiet shore. Somewhere, in the great cycle of the world, a tiny water molecule continues its journey. It has traveled far, born in the heart of a distant nebula, carried to Earth on an ancient asteroid, shaped by oceans, lifted into the sky, and returned to the land as rain. But its journey is not over, because water never stops moving. And sometimes, just sometimes, it leaves the Earth behind. The molecule moves in darkness, deep underground, hidden away in an ancient reservoir. It has been here for centuries, maybe even thousands of years, locked beneath layers of rock, untouched by the light of the sun. But now, something stirs. A shift in the earth, a movement in the land. A new path opens, and the water begins to flow again. Slowly, quietly, it moves through cracks and crevices, through hidden rivers that run beneath the surface, until at last, light. The water emerges from the earth, bubbling up from a hidden spring, spilling into a clear, rushing stream. The molecule is moving again, faster now, caught in the currents, winding its way through valleys, over pebbles worn smooth by time, past the roots of towering trees that drink from its flow. The stream grows, joining a river that winds its way toward the sea. And then, the ocean. The molecule is home again. The water stretches before it, vast and endless, rolling with the rhythm of the tides. Here, the great cycle of water continues, moving with the moon, with the winds, with the pull of unseen forces that shape the world. But something is different now. The molecule is drawn to the surface, where sunlight warms the water, where waves break and curl, where the vast blue meets the sky. It is here, in this place between earth and air, that its greatest journey begins. A new force pulls at it. Not gravity, not wind, but something stronger, something more powerful than any storm. It is time to leave. It is time to return to the stars. Not all water stays on Earth. Some of it, just a tiny fraction, rises so high, so far, that it escapes the planet's grasp altogether. Our molecule is among them now, lifted by the heat of the sun, carried higher and higher, past the clouds, past the highest reaches of the atmosphere, where the air grows thin and the sky turns black. Here, at the edge of space, Earth's hold weakens. The pull of gravity fades. And then, freedom. With the faintest whisper of motion, the molecule slips away, no longer bound to the world it has known for so long. It is no longer Earth's to keep. It is returning to the stars. Space is silent. There is no wind, no sound, no warmth, only the endless black, stretching in every direction. The molecule drifts, weightless, moving with the great currents of the universe, carried away on solar winds, past the pale blue glow of Earth, past the golden light of the sun. It is one of many. For billions of years, water has left the Earth, carried away by time, by energy, by the quiet pull of the cosmos. Some will be lost forever, scattered across the galaxy, never to return. But some will find a new home. Far ahead, something stirs. A distant cloud, vast and glowing, swirling in the blackness of space. A nebula, just like the one where the molecule was born so long ago. It drifts closer, drawn by invisible forces, slipping into the great currents of dust and gas, becoming part of something ancient, something eternal. This is where stars are born, where planets form, where one day water may fall as rain on a new world, in a new ocean, beneath a new sky. The journey never ends. Water moves, always moves, through time, through space, through life itself. It has seen the birth of worlds. It has carved valleys and shaped mountains. It has filled oceans and nourished forests. And now it will begin again. And as you breathe, slow and steady, as you drift into sleep, remember this. You, too, are part of this great cycle. The water in your body once traveled through ancient rivers, through clouds, through the veins of creatures long forgotten. It has seen the stars. It has touched the sky. It has flowed through time itself, and it will never stop moving. Neither will you.